Hello, and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry, episode 11. Last time, we got a nice conversation between Kiri and Battler regarding turning the chessboard and seeing things from the other person's point of view, and, a big bar of gold that Kraus had hidden away, because there is some truth to the witch's gold, at the very least. I really don't have much to say, other than let's get into it. It seems the weather will be like this all day tomorrow after all. Dang, this makes the good weather we had earlier feel like a lie. George, Aniki, and I were killing time in front of the parlor television. At that point, Jessica returned. Oh yeah, and there was a nice mother-daughter moment between, Jessica and Natsuhi, and Jessica gave the charm that Maria had given her to her mother. Her face was still blank, but it looked like she'd calmed down a little since we'd last seen her. Is Maria still in front of the portrait? Nope. She just came back, and she's sleeping over there on the sofa. It's getting pretty late for her after all. Looking at the clock, I saw it was a little past 10 p.m. Even if we were planning to stay up all night, it was just about time to head back to our room. Well, my mom did have a room prepared for us in the mansion. What'll we do? I'd rather head back to the guest house. Going by what we saw of our parents, I think it'd be better if we weren't in the mansion. I agree. Feels like they're telling us kids to mind our own business and stay out of their way. Let's be good little boys and girls and do that. Okay, Battler. As we were talking about this, Aunt Rosa came into the parlor. I'm very conflicted on how to feel about Rosa ever since the rose garden. I just hate what she did. She was looking all over restlessly, probably trying to find Maria. Aunt Rosa, if you're looking for Maria, she's over there on the sofa. Thank you. My, she's out cold. We must move her to a bed. If you'd like, I'll carry her over to a bed. Thanks, that would be wonderful. Are you all heading back to the guest house? Or are you going to stay in the room Natsini-san had prepared here? We were just talking about that. We just decided to head over to the guest house. I see. Then could I ask you to take Maria with you? I'd feel much more reassured if she stays with all of you cousins. Behind those words, she seemed to be concealing some regret that the adults, herself included, had deeply hurt Maria's feelings. Leave it to us, Aunt Rosa. After all, we do have an expert at comforting Maria with us. What, George? Are you talking about me? I couldn't do it myself. We'll need everyone together. That's right. Battler, weren't you the one who hit it off with Maria when you were messing around earlier? Well, and then he, broke her heart 5 separate times. As we said this, Aunt Rosa smiled, looking truly happy. Thank you, everyone. It looks like our meeting will last until very late. So, while I'm sorry to burden you like this, I'll be counting on you all to take care of Maria. Hey, Maria, are you sound asleep? We're going back to the guest house. Maria muttered something indistinct, rolled over, and fell back asleep. It looked like she was sleeping deeply. She's really out cold. I'd hate to wake her up. Or wake her. Right, I'll carry her. Yes. Maria's body was much lighter than it looked. I lifted her up and put her on George Aniki's back. It was raining hard outside, and Aniki couldn't hold an umbrella and carry Maria at the same time. It looked like Aunt Rosa would come with us as far as the guest house to help out. However, when she heard Uncle Krause's voice call out to her, she had no choice but to return. I hate Krause, bro. Something wrong. Kraus, I hate my wife, Ushiramiya. Kraus, why are you so emotional? Now that's a problem. I have to go back now. Is everyone returning to the guest house? After we left the hall on the way to the entrance, the door to the servant room opened and Shannon-chan stepped out. It has grown very dark, so allow me to guide you. That would be great, Shannon-chan. George-kun is going to carry Maria there. Could you hold an umbrella for him? Yes, certainly. Shannon-chan brought umbrellas for each of us and a flashlight to guide the way. As we opened the front door, the downpour was quite terrific. It looked like we wouldn't have any spare time to take a pleasant walk and enjoy the nighttime rose garden. Aniki, is she too heavy? Want me to carry her? It's okay. I can at least carry Maria-chan. I'm truly grateful. Please take care of Maria. Sure, you got it. And I guess this is good night, Aunt Rosa. Then I will see them over there and return here. Yes, please. Aunt Rosa watched us leave. Maria, I'm sorry for everything. Rosa's mumbling voice didn't reach the person in question, nor any of the kids, but disappeared beneath the sound of the rain. Sorry doesn't take back slapping your child several times just because she wasn't agreeing with you. She's 9, bro. Yeah, she's a little odd, but aren't we all? After cutting through the rainy rose garden, we arrived at the guest house. If only I'd applied for the position of Maria carrier. Then I would have gotten a chance to have Shannon Is it too late for me to quit the game and delete my channel? That's not why I did it. It's a misunderstanding. George, no one said that. George, no one said that's why. Excuse you? No one said that's why you did it. I thought that if I didn't walk like this, George-sama would get all wet. Come on, quit babbling and go in. After being urged on by Jessica, we folded up our umbrellas and went into the guest house. Has anyone gotten their clothes wet? I can bring some towels if you want. You don't need to worry about us that much. Thanks, Shannon-chan. That's right. We were planning to play cards or something. Would you like to stay, Shannon? Would you care to join us for a bit? Huh? Who had the night shift on today's schedule? I believe we had a special schedule during the family conference. Also, I think a few alterations have been made, so I will go and check. Wait, if you have to go all the way back to the mansion to find out, don't force yourself. Oh, that's alright. I can find out from the servant room in the guest house. Please excuse me for a short while. Shannon-chan gave a quick bow and went into the guest house servant room. The rest of us headed for the cousin room and decided to put Maria to bed for the time being. Maria was sleeping very deeply, and there was absolutely no sign of her eyes opening. For now, we'd get some soft drinks out of the room's refrigerator and drink those while playing cards or something. Knock, knock. Oh. I'm sorry. Oh. Canon-kun. And you're here too, Genji-sama. Why are we meeting up? What has happened with tonight's shift? Kraus-sama has given an order. He made some sizable changes to the shift schedule. Indeed. Gohda-san now has the night shift at the mansion. Good! Keep that prick up all night. Shannon and Cannon have the night shift in the guest house. Kumasawa-san and I have been ordered to sleep in the guest house. Just now, a phone call came saying that once you arrived, you were to remain here for the rest of the night. What? Okay, this is really suspicious, and it's actually kind of freaking me out. Ooh. Huh? That certainly is a sizable change. The shifts at the guest house and the mansion have been completely reversed, haven't they? Ugh, Gohda was gonna be around the kids? Ugh, hate that guy. He is not hip, I don't care what anyone says. Originally, Shannon and Cannon had been assigned the night shift in the mansion, while the night shift in the guest house, where all the relatives were staying, had been assigned to Gohda, who had an abundance of experience in entertaining. Kumasawa should have been sleeping at the guest house, while Genji should have been sleeping in the mansion. However, it seemed that Kraus had suddenly ordered that the schedule be modified. The shifts at the guest house and the mansion had all been reversed, and Genji was spending the night in the guest house. But why? What is the method to this madness, Kraus? It's probably because of Beatrice-sama's letter. Why, probably? After such a mysterious letter appeared, it was only natural that Kraus-sama would suspect one of us. We served directly under the master, so Kraus-sama tried as best as he could to keep us far away from the family conference. Genji, Shannon, and Cannon were all permitted to wear the Ushirimiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, as the servants who served directly under Kinzo. Of course, since they were working for the Ushirimiya family, they had to obey anyone's orders, but their only boss was Kinzo. Since only Kinzo held the right to employ them, even Kraus could not have them dismissed of his own accord. Because of this, Kraus and the others often viewed these servants as Kinzo's underlings and shunned them. And, in fact, Kinzo seldom let anyone other than them enter his study. The sudden shift change was probably a clear expression of the sense of mistrust that had caused. Considering the time Kinzo had left to live, this would definitely be the last family conference before the problem of his inheritance came up. Or the inheritance. My apologies. On top of that, the mysterious letter that claimed to be from Beatrice had dropped in out of the blue. Kraus definitely wanted to keep Kinzo's loyal subjects away from the table of such a delicate and important discussion. If you would excuse me, I will go rest. If anything happens, call me immediately. Okay. Our guest tonight is a special case, after all. Why is that blue? And what are we speaking of? What do we mean by this? Hold on, what does this mean? Yes, certainly, Genji-sama. Genji nodded back, went behind the screen, took off his jacket, and slowly began to relax after a day's worth of tension. As he should. You know what? Genji's kind of warming up to me a little bit. I might move him from C tier to B tier. The ones who just returned now. Were they the children? Yes. The other relatives are having a conference in the mansion. It looked like it would drag on for quite some time. Then we've got it easy. It's already this late, and there's this weather. The rest of the relatives will probably spend the night in their rooms in the mansion. Yes, probably. I'm only saying this because Genji-sama isn't around, but I'm a little happy I was sent to the guest house. I guess. Oh? Why is that? Because you can stay away from Madam and Eva-sama, those bullies? Or do you have another reason? Oh? And what could that be, Canon? What are you implying? It's not as though I have another reason. I see. Then let's do our best together with our night shift. I'm counting on you, Nissan. Just now I was asked to go to the children's room and play with them. Shannon hung her head apologetically, gazing at Cannon uncertainly. Cannon didn't try to meet her eyes and spoke curtly as he sighed. It looked like he didn't plan on indulging his sister. You can't. You are assigned to the night shift. Besides which, it isn't necessary for furniture like us to respond to an invitation to play. Cannon, let her have some whimsy in her life. You understand, right? Yes, I do understand. Shannon's shoulders drooped slightly. She had already expected that Cannon, a stickler for the rules, would say something like that, but she still seemed a little discouraged. As Cannon flipped through the logbook, he spoke without facing Shannon. That means the children will be waiting for you. You'll have to apologize and tell them you have the night shift and won't be able to stay with them. Go, and come back. Yes. I'll go apologize and come back. Shannon hurriedly slid from her seat before her brother's mood could change and flew out the servant room after giving a quick bow. As he watched her go, Cannon took a single deep breath. Genji's voice came from beyond the screen. Cannon, I will be here, so you can go too. I kind of need them to be happy. No, I don't kind of need them to be happy. I do need them to be happy. Genji-sama. Shannon was the only one called. Not as though I was invited. That is only because you were not there at the time. If you had been, you would have been invited as well. Yeah, Genji! Woo! Tell him, Genji! Give this kid some happiness in his life. It is good to play as a child from time to time. No such thing is not a necessary for me. Such a thing is not necessary for me. Man, I love talking correctly. Human children may have a need to play. Furniture don't. But we are. Furniture. Dog, what did they do to you? Why do you think this? Is that so? Nissan is also furniture. Even if she pretends to be a person, it will only hurt her later. I understand that, so I try not to get too close to people. That's all. Stop it! Stop! Please be happy, be kid. Be kind to yourself. I don't... Genji did not say anything after that. After a while, he stood up and used a pot of hot water to make powdered cocoa, serving some to Cannon as well. We furniture cannot drink this. Nuh-uh, we cannot. It is a simple joy of life which furniture cannot have. Let's see. The kids, are we gonna see the kids? Yes. Is that for real? I had no clue. You know what? I feel like the Ushirimiya cousins would tear up a mean game of Uno. Like, I don't know, like, they genuinely would not, their games would go on for so, low-key, no, not so low-key, high-key, I need to see them play Uno, Sorry, and Monopoly. All three of those games, because I know it's brutal. I know it's brutal out there. Dumbass, you're too loud. You'll wake Maria up. Balor was so surprised that he yelled obnoxiously and scattered his cards everywhere. His voice caused Maria to turn over once, but she soon fell back into a deep sleep. Jessica gave him a jab and he lowered his voice. Still, seriously, now that you mention it, they really did have that kind of atmosphere, didn't they? Now I see. So George Nikki is... George couldn't be seen anywhere in the room. A short while ago, when Shannon came into the room, George suddenly said that he'd forgotten something in the mansion and needed to go back and get it. Shannon said she would guide him, just like she had on the way to the guest house, and the two of them departed together. Well, there's actually been signs of it for a while now. You know, questions about hobbies and favorite things. I always thought it was a bit much for a passing interest, and look what's happened now. Come to think of it, I get the feeling George and Nikki's always been overly nice to Shannon-chan. Now I get it. Yeah, okay. How old is George, by the way? George? George, are you not, like, 23? Is Shannon not, like, 16? And you've known her for a lot longer? George? George, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Pull yourself together, George. Pull yourself together. According to the weather report, it looks like it'll be at its worst tonight. It also seems it'll last all day tomorrow, though it should get a little better. Really? Then maybe the boat won't arrive until the day after tomorrow. I hope that doesn't interfere with your work on Monday. I already knew the typhoon would be coming beforehand, so I canceled everything in the hopes of it. Just in case, I made sure I didn't have any plans for Monday. So, it's okay. I may not look it, but I really am the type who can plan ahead in a schedule. George puffed out his chest, acting proud. Compared to the calm appearance George always had as the oldest cousin, he now looked amusingly like a little kid. Shannon chuckled at this abrupt contrast. This is a nice little song. Oh, I like it. It's no surprise you're so well prepared, as someone who will bring prosperity to his company someday. Well, making a company prosper really is a tough job. Money isn't the only thing that's important. I learned that well when studying under my father. Making a company prosper is like owning a castle and leading your subordinates. My dad really loves reading about great leaders during the warring periods of Japan, a hobby that's probably influenced by the fact that he shares Toyotomi Hideyoshi's name. I too know who that is. Much of his philosophy on managing business comes from talking about them. Did you know? Takeda Shingen, who is feared as the leader of the strongest cavalry corps in the warring periods, started out with his troops in complete disarray and didn't have the kinds of strong leadership necessary to utilize them well. Is that true? That's a little unexpected. In order to unite his troops, Shingen showed his excellent leadership in many ways. For example, when a soldier succeeded well in battle, he would immediately honor them with a medal. Normally, that kind of thing was put off until after the war, and they were all awarded at once. He continued this diligently while in the field of battle, and immediately showing his appreciation for his troops' military exploits motivated them in an extremely significant fashion. Also, whenever one of his troops was brought down by an illness, he would be the first to rush up to them and care for them, and so on. Takeda Shingen wasn't just the man who led the strongest cavalry corps in the warring period. He was the person who cared the most for his troops throughout that era. And because he was that kind of person, all of his troops went along with him. The truth was, Shannon had already heard this story several years ago, also from George. But whenever a discussion of his father led to this sort of topic, George would always glow and look like he was having a great time. So Shannon just smiled without interrupting, urging him to continue. Of course, in the capitalist world, money determines both your strength and the height of your fortifications. It's always capitalism. Always capitalism. But you can't build up a castle or succeed in a war by yourself. Such things can only be accomplished with the support of many subordinates by borrowing their strength. After understanding that, when I look at my father's back, I realize how immature I am. I can clearly see how much competition he had to overcome before building up all he has now. George-sama, you truly look up to your father. I'm jealous. Sorry, that's not how I meant it. I'm sorry, that's not how I meant it either. Oh my god, corny! The two of them awkwardly looked at their feet. Shannon had no parents. She had been brought up in an orphanage owned by Kinzo called the Fukuen House. Under the guidance of Kinzo, their honorary director, the orphanage offered members who excelled a chance for on-the-job serving experience. If their efforts met with Kinzo's approval, they'd be able to leave the orphanage and work as servants for the Ushirimiya family. This was considered to be the highest honor for those who lived in the orphanage. Servants from the Fukuen house all took names with the character of Un in them while they were served. On, Canon, Shannon. So, Shannon wasn't her real name. The same went for Canon. All of the members of the Fukuen house were orphans. At least, they were all people who had been separated from their parents under special circumstances. So, they're very, the names, they're Western names, or, actually, I don't know the name for Canon, like, the origin of that one, but Shannon is definitely a, Canon. Let's see, I'm just curious, I'm looking it up because, oh, well, it does seem to be a Japanese name. Okay, so, okay, it is a Japanese girl's name, mostly. Okay, that's fine. Let's see, what are other names that end with O-N? Isn't there like some kind of demon named Mamon? Dog? I don't know. I think that's one of them. There's I know Ganon's a name. What else? Bannon, Cannon, Dannon, Yannon, Fannon, Ganon, Hannon, Janon, Lannon, Manon, Nannon, Pannon, Rannon, Quanon, Sannon, Tannon, Zannon, Yannon, Wannon, Vannon. Okay, so not a lot of names. How many names do they got that end with O-N? Because of this, the orphans had been taught to think of each other as their own only family. That's why it seemed so natural to both of them when Cannon called Shannon his sister. And while both Shannon and Cannon were working in the mansion today, there were several other servants possessing that character in their names, such as, oh, there's Lennon. Manon and Lennon, maybe? Wait, wait, no, I'm a little, is it Mammon? It is Mammon. Mammon, I was, wait, hold on, I'm gonna get the pronunciation. Wait, my volume's turned down on my phone. Mammon. Oh, I was right! Wait, but I thought there were only 18 people in the island. However, there were not many servants who stayed with the Ushirimiya family for long. It was standard for them to quit after 3 years. So you could probably say that Shannon, who had been working for 10 years, was a notable exception to the rule. Working as a servant for the Ushirimiya family was a heavy burden to bear, but the pay wasn't bad at all. Working for a full 3 years would earn more than what was needed to enter mainstream society. That was why, even though the orphans realized what a harsh task working for the Ushirmiya family was, they still hoped to be accepted. Maybe the fact that Shannon managed to continue working for 10 years wasn't because she had more willpower than the other servants. Maybe she'd gotten stuck working for 10 years because she didn't have the courage to say she wanted to quit. Kenzo couldn't even trust his own blood relatives, and these excellent servants sent from the Fukuin house were the only ones he could rely on. Because of that, Kenzo would sometimes allow them to wear the family crest as servants under his direct control and have them work close to him. You've been working here for almost 10 years now, right? You must have saved up a lot of money by now. Oh no, Kenzo pays us an exposure. I wonder. It's not like there's anything in particular I'd like to buy. After all, a few million yen isn't enough to live off for the rest of your life. So the reason you've been working all this time wasn't to hit some target sum? Yes, that's right. I have nowhere to go outside this mansion, and I have been getting along well with my lady and the other young servants. The madam does scold me sometimes, but caring for the roses and cleaning the mansion is fun. But that can't be your entire life, Shannon-chan. No, Sayo-chan. Whoa, why are we pulling out the government name? George, you've got to chill, bro. She's 16. Shannon cast her eyes downward when she heard her real name. She understood what George was trying to say and fell silent. There's something I've learned as I continue to study, even after becoming an adult and a full-fledged member of society. Human's life is not as monotonous or short as we thought when we were kids. All school-age kids have certain fears they can't shake. They wonder whether they'll live the rest of their lives like sleepy classes after a monotonous and boring school day, spending their time in a carefree laziness without anything interesting happening until it's all over. 'Cause baby, it ain't over till it's over. However, life's only like that for underage students. Compared to a human's life, the time they spend as students is nothing more than a blink of the eye, a period where they break through the shells of their immaturity. The inside of the shell might be a hot, suffocating, and boring world, but the world beyond that shell is vast and filled with limitless possibilities. So far, your life has been trapped inside the shell called Shannon. I think you're under the mistaken impression that your life will continue like this forever. Are you trying to, mansplain her life to her, bro? I think she understands how she lives. George, come on. I like you, but don't be like this. That's... George, I'm capable of making my own decisions. George. Shannon couldn't deny those words. Oh, Shannon, no baby. She'd been unable to harbor any clear doubts about her lifestyle. And since she never had any hope or goals for changing herself, she lazily continued living the way she always had. And if asked whether this life was satisfying, she'd probably say yes. Actually, I don't know if she would. I'm just saying things to say things. She wouldn't have been able to nod. She may have been intentionally averting her eyes from the truth. Without George's admonishments, she would have continued pretending not to notice as her real life slipped away, bit by bit. Neglected. George-sama. Is it wrong for me to continue living this way? Yeah, it is. Straight out with it, okay. I'm in solid. Oh, and by the way, didn't you break one of our rules just now? Yeah, you called me George-sama. Is that the thing? George immediately gave a strict answer, then broke out into a mischievous smile. Shannon already knew what she was being chided for, and she hung her head again, apparently embarrassed. Didn't you promise not to use Sama when the two of us are alone? I can obey that as a promise, but if it was an order, would have to obey it. Because I'm furniture. Oh, oh my god. Shannon, please, you're more than furniture. Please, you're a teenage girl. You can do teenage girl things. Then it's an order. Yes. Certainly, George-san. As Shannon hung her head, her face red, she said George's name again, this time following it with a san. Yes, that's fine, Sayo-chan. George smiled at Shannon, no, Sayo, to praise her small act of bravery. This short exchange alone made it clear how far back their relationship must have stretched. For a long while, the two talked as if the weather raging about them didn't even enter their thoughts. They talked about the many memories they'd built during their relationship that no one else knew about. Every once in a while, a flash of lightning would attempt to interrupt them, but this could sully neither the roses nor the time they spent blushing at each other. Ugh, corny, bro. Corny. I'm a little scared. That's right. I have something I wanted to show you. What could it be? George, who had been speaking eloquently, suddenly started to stutter. Watching him, Shannon seemed to guess something. George timidly searched through his pocket. George? George, what are you doing? What are you doing, George? Something got caught in the depths of his pocket, and just like the stuttering George, it took a little while to get out. George? It was a very small box. George! Oh my god. No way, bro. A small box covered in a deep blue velvet. That peculiar shape was enough to tell anyone what was resting inside. Shannon had prepared her heart somewhat, certain beforehand that this is what he'd been planning. But even so, when she actually saw it, she couldn't avoid blushing once more. Okay, it's kind of cute, but like, I'm still really put off by the fact that... Oh my god, this music. Oh, I really like this music. Oh my gosh, I like this track. If anyone's watching this and knows what this track is called, could you please comment it? I really want to know. It's beautiful. But I don't want to look anything up because I know I'll spoil myself. And held it out for Shannon to take. I want you to take this. I can accept something so valuable. Well, maybe you could just hold on to it for me then, George said smoothly. Let's see. You can't take it? No, I'm unworthy of such a thing. No, you're not. You're worth so much, Shannon. Sayo, this isn't a request. It's an order. I order you to marry me. Take this ring, okay? If it's an order, I cannot disobey. Okay. Yeah, oh, I just hit my microphone. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, that's right. What? Well done. It's a weird way to say that. Shannon, not wanting to show her bright red face, timidly accepted the ring from George's hand while still staring at the ground. That ring wasn't a simple accessory. It was a noble object, meant since ancient times to be offered to a special woman under special circumstances. Therefore, while George could order her to take it, he could not order anything beyond that. Well, that's good. Anything beyond that would depend not on an order, but on Shannon's. No, Sayo's own will. So from here on, I'm not ordering you anymore. Sayo, I want you to give me your answer by tomorrow, without using words. Do you understand what you like, you know, she wear the ring? I'm always a sucker for, like, the cheesy romance stuff. Don't do this. How should I? I won't order you any further, so this isn't an order. But a ring is something you put on your finger, after all. If you like it, you can just put it on any finger you choose. Shannon had only pretended not to know. She already understood what he wanted her to do. But she was standing at a huge crossroads of her life. Look how late it's gotten. Let's call it a day. George turned away from Shannon, acting just a bit bluntly. I could probably order you to wear it on your left hand. You might be timid and dependent enough to actually obey that kind of order. But I want at least this last step to be done by your own will, Sayo. Understand? Yes. So, that's my order. I want you to think about it well tonight and show me your answer tomorrow. As much as I'm not a fan of the age gap, it's nice. It has nice intention, but I guess it's a victim of Japan. It's a victim of being written by someone who's Japanese, and age things aren't as weird there. I don't know if I can say that, but you know what I mean. Shannon nodded back. Today was the culmination of their many days spent together. This moment certainly hadn't come as a surprise to Shannon. We should be getting back to the guest house soon. If we take any longer, we'll make everyone worry about us. Oh, no, they've already figured out what's going on, buddy. You're not subtle about it, pal. I think you're the least subtle. I feel like Battler would have more subtlety than you do. And we know how Battler is. Oh, I'm sorry, I just remembered something I had to do in the mansion, so, I have to go back to the— No, Shannon, that's against your orders. Your orders were to stay in the guest house all night. You weren't supposed to leave it. You weren't supposed to leave it. Why? At a time like this? Is that true? George stared into Shannon's face as he laughed mischievously. He definitely saw through Shannon's lie. However, when he saw how she felt, he could sort of understand that she might be so embarrassed that she'd want to be alone. So, because George realized that meaning behind Shannon's lie, he accepted it. Okay. I just don't want her to get, like, I don't know, get the brazen bull for going inside the mansion when— oh, time's about to pass. But, oh, midnight. Oh wait, it's not midnight yet. 11 o'clock. Twilight is approaching, and I'm not feeling too good. I'm a little nervous. But, like I was saying, I don't want Shannon to get yelled at by, like, Natsuhi or Kraus or anything. She deserves better than what she gets. Shannon entered the entrance hall to the mansion with a tottering gait. A mixture of exultation and uncertainty gave her a feeling that she couldn't easily describe. It swelled up in her chest until it felt like she was about to burst. After stopping for a second in front of the servant room to take a deep breath and calm her heart, she opened the door. Inside, Gohda, who had been ordered to take the midnight shift at the mansion tonight, was absorbed in a worn-out crossword puzzle magazine. He looked up for an instant to see if one of the family had come, but when he realized it was a fellow servant, he returned to his puzzle as if nothing had happened. Genji-sama told me to come and help you. No, he didn't. Ah, is that so? That's a relief. I was just about to go check that the mansion was fully locked up, but I felt uneasy about leaving this room unmanned. After all, Craft-sama and the others' meeting looks as though it will continue for quite some time. They might request some tea at any moment. That's true. Then, what shall we do? Should I watch over... In that case, forgive me, Shannon-san, but I'll ask that you patrol the mansion. Oh, I hate this guy. Pisses me off. I will stay here, awaiting the family's orders. You just want to sit on your ass and do nothing. Yes. Shannon was slightly disgusted. Yeah, I would be too. Even though she'd come here to help out as a favor, she was casually being forced to do the job of the person actually on duty. Furthermore, after one-sidedly forcing that task on her, Gohda returned to his magazine once again and became immersed in his crossword puzzle. Shannon bowed her head as a token sign of respect for her elder, then left the room to patrol the mansion. He pisses me off! Thanks to her being a bit ticked off, she managed to suppress that floaty feeling she'd been having until now. And anyway, she couldn't let Genji or Cannon see her looking like this. She wanted a little time to herself until her heart calmed down, so maybe going on patrol wouldn't be so bad. She began to hear the tumultuous voices of the families coming from the dining hall. Ooh, words. Someone was speaking at great length, only to be interrupted by someone else. The second person also began to speak in a very long, drawn-out fashion, until yet another person interrupted. That kept on repeating. It was as though their displeasure was seeping out through their voices. Oh, let's see. She had been told to go to the guest house, so it would be bad if Kraus discovered her. Thinking this, Shannon dashed past the dining hall. Then she went along a prearranged route through the dark mansion, checking that all the locks were secure. No, I want to hear what the discussion is. She walked down the hall, checking each window. There were no humans on Rokenjima other than those connected to the family, so locking up didn't really serve much of a purpose. No one had been in the habit of locking up the Ushiromiya head family, at least not until Natsuhi had scolded them for being careless. The metal fixtures on the windows were ice cold, and she checked them one by one. The glow in her heart seemed to cool down. Oh! Whoa! At that time, she thought she saw something twinkling across the hall. I'm sorry. I thought of something funny. And I'm not gonna say it right now because it's gonna be the title of this video. And you'll know. You'll know when you see the title of this video and you hear this part. Also, I don't like the ominous music is back, but the golden butterflies, they remind me of Heaven Official's Blessing. I think have I talked about the golden butterflies before? Regardless, either way, they remind me of, Hua Cheng's silver butterflies, but I feel like these ones are a little more malicious. Twinkling? How could anything be twinkling through the darkness of the hall? She figured she must have been imagining it, but she still held her breath. Grasping a curtain, she fearfully gazed down the hall. However, other than the occasional crack of thunder brightening the hallway, she was unable to glimpse any flicker again. It must have been her imagination, after all. Maybe her heart was so agitated that she'd seen something that didn't even exist. Shannon went back to checking the windows. However, a certain unnerving memory was resurrected in the back of her mind. It was that ghost story which had been passed down amongst the servants who served the Ushiromiya head family. The mansion had 2 different masters, one of the day and one of the night. Beatrice, the master of the night, would sometimes fly around the mansion in the form of sparkling butterflies. That was the story. Come to think of it, didn't Canon-kun once say he'd seen it with his own eyes? Though he got sulky when I said he must have imagined it and refused to believe him. I in reference to Shannon? Is this her inner monologue? Could it possibly be true? The roar of the thunder gave no answer. Ooh, I don't like being outside. I don't like being outside. Let me back in. Let me in the house. Please let me in the house. Please, please let me in the house. Please? I'm asking nice. Is that window open? Are those windows open? Crazy. What is that spot on the floor? What is this? Oh, hey, Beatrice. Uh-oh. Okay, the vibes have gone from, like, soft, lighthearted to actually frightening. I don't like the bell, the clock. Oh. Here, let... This looks like a really tense moment, and I'm not sure... Okay. There's people in the mansion. Adults arguing. There's Canon. And Genji. Kumasawa. Dr. Nanjo. Who knows where he is? Kenzo? George. The other cousins, yep. Maria? Maria and Kenzo are the only ones I haven't seen. Okay, there's Kenzo. Wait, why didn't we show Maria? What was that? I don't like this. This is giving me a really bad feeling. Oh! The first Twilight. Oh! Oh my god. Shit. Oh. Okay. Well, knowing that that's the first Twilight passed, I'm gonna leave it here. Shit. The second day, October 5th, 1986. Yeah. I'm gonna pick up next time, actually. I don't... Shit. You know what? I'm actually filming... Right now it's Saturday for me, it's not Sunday. But I don't have the time to do a long episode, so I think I'm gonna film another one tomorrow. And we might get a double upload tomorrow, because I really want to know what happens, but I think I need to end the episode here. That scared me. The achievement scared me. I don't like that. Oh, the chessboard is set. What? Hold on. Let's I forgot how to pull up the thing. Wait, hold on, I'll show you guys in a second. We're gonna look at this together. Okay. Looking at it here, all the pieces are in place. What will you see on the game board? Okay. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Well, I'd like to thank you all for watching this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll find the time tomorrow to film another one. I'm so scared right now. The first Twilight is there's gonna be six sacrifices, right? Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.